this is Arlene, and you're listening to UndiMsia again. Now is our segment on the blast from the grassroots. We will be talking about the orang Asli in the Peninsula Malaysia and how these two wonderful wonderful ladies work on educating, empowerment the local communities in the orang Asli or communities. So on the studio here we have Mazni Ibrahim. She's the project officer of the Malaysian Centre for Constitutionalism and Human Rights, MCCHR. That's a mouthful.
Yeah, I know. Every time I want to mention the full name, right, it's the same thing.
Yeah, and also on the line we have Jenita. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, and you're working on the orang Asli communities in Pahang, right?
My current project with the community right now. Yeah.
I see. So, before we start our discussion, I would like to know more about the organization and the work that you are doing. Let's start with Mazni first.
Okay, thanks, Arlene. MCCHR, let's not go into the long name. Yeah. MCCHR, under MCCHR, we have UndiMsia. So UndiMsia is basically about empowering the youth. It's actually to provide them tools and workable solutions to problems that matters to them and their communities, and to build, mobilize, organize and support them to take impactful action with tangible result in their own communities, and also to promote greater participation by young Malaysians in decisions that affect them. And lastly, we aim to assist them to ask the right questions and make informed choices when they vote. So we are not only about voting, though the name is UndiMsia, but we are more than that.
So what is more than that? So you do a lot of trainings and workshops to the younger generation in this country, right?
Yeah. We do training. We create awareness in the young Malaysians, and we actually prepare a platform for them to deal with problems in their community, and we provide a space for them to do activism as well.
I see. So, and you also have your Pusat Rakyat Lawyer Bureau.
Correct.
Which is situated near the Kerinci LRT.
Yeah, previously it was near the Bangsa LRT, and we have moved to the Kerinci LRT. So that's where I believe like a few weeks you have scholar activism review, right? So scholar activism is basically under UndiMsia as well.
I see. So it's pretty wide and diverse, the work that you're doing. And Jenita? Yeah. Sorry. So you have been working with the communities in Pahang for quite some time, or just recently?
Okay. For that type of project, I just started last 3 months actually. But since 2007, I was working with the Centre for Orang Asli Concern based in Subang Jaya, USJ. And so I just share about what they call our mentors lah in this center. Yeah? So CAC basically facilitates and for the Orang Asli initiatives to self-development and to defense of their own right, to support those who want to promote such initiatives. But this is basically just for the Orang Asli itself got that initiative lah. Yeah. So what is it?
So
for my task in CAC since 6 years ago is to assist the coordinator, and most of the issues that we will focus is the land issue and raise awareness about their own rights, and helping to facilitate those training to raise their capacity building.
I see. The trainings.
But now, currently, I'm working with the community in rural area of Pahang, my community to building up, to setting up the community learning center. So it's already established last December actually. Yeah, so this is focusing on the education. Yeah, from the primary schools until the what they call the villagers who really wanted to learn reading, writing, yeah, and a lot of skills, other skills that they wanted to get from the center lah.
So what are the main concern of the orang asli? You mentioned a few key things like land rights issue and also education. So are these why are these like real? Are these the real concern of the orang asli, or they are more than just that?
If I focus on the land issue is very crucial issue. Since past 10 years ago, no? Very crucial. So until now, there is no solution for that. There is getting increase of the orang asli activists who push the government to change, to respect their rights, you know, to respect those belong to the orang asli itself, even though it's not rectified by the government, but they live there for a long time, you know.
Where can you give example of the land issue that is
land grabbings, encroaching, they move the orang asli to another settlement, you know, whereby the new settlement is not really a really good area for them. Orang asli know where is the best place for them to stay, you know. That's why sometimes you can see they move here and there. Whenever they move, they were planting trees, fruits, or of their own usage lah. Yeah. So again, they will come back to the same place, no? They're not taking like they didn't taking very huge area. Only they and in their what they call their zone, you know. So, a big area.
I think they are attached to their land, so that's why, like Jenita said, when they are forced to move out of their land, they will come back, because that's where their great grandfathers were there. There's a old let's say kubo, you know, graveyard. Yeah, there are old graveyard there. So all these things, they are so attached that, you know, if you ask them to come out of the land, I think they won't be able to survive, because their livelihood is there. They work there. They find forest produce to sell. Everything is in the forest.
Yeah. So I just want to add some. Just now that when I said land is very important. So in the land, everything is there. Culture, traditional practices, medicine, what else? Education, actually, their economy, for their livelihood lah.
So
what else? A lot of things.
Yeah. So most of the time, these lands were being used for what? If the government would not allow them to, you know, occupy their own land.
Normally logging.
Logging, is it?
Most of the time.
Logging, plantation, first logging or mining, you know.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay, so mining, logging, that is the first things lah. Usually logging first. Because after they cutting all the log, then they bring it out. Of course, government will get profit. There were plants or sawit, you know, oil plant, what they call? Oil palm, isn't it?
Palm oil plantation. I'm curious to know, is it the same fate happening in orang asli living in states under the federal government rule, and also under the federal government rule and also under the state government rule? I mean, the opposition and the government, is it the same, their fate?
I think orang asli issue falls under the government, the federal government. So they have Jabatan Hal Ehwal Orang Asli. Okay, and they are supposed to take care of the orang asli. They're supposed to take care. But so whenever the state want to do something, okay, when you talk about land rights, right? Land falls under the state matters, but when it comes to Orang Asli, it falls under federal. So there's a friction there. I mean, when you want to settle all these things, it's kind of hard unless the government and the state actually comes together to settle all these land issue, like giving them giving them the land rights, like reserve their tanah adat for them.
I see. So so it's similar to the Malay land rights.
It's different. I think Malay land rights, basically you already have it there, but most of the Orang Asli, they actually stay in a reserve land, forest reserve. So it has yet to be gazetted as a tanah adat Orang Asli.
Okay. So you guys are doing a lot of work in terms of educating the young and also older population in the Orang Asli community. Can you share your experience there, Mazni?
Okay. Actually, we started in 2012. Actually, that time I have not joined UndiMsia yet. So what they did before I came in, they actually went down and do a survey. So the aim for the survey is to actually measure their knowledge, their attitude, and their practice in the community. And we have chosen the area of Ulu Langat in Selangor. And we also survey their involvement with their elected representative and their knowledge on human rights. So from this survey, apart from land, because no matter what, right, land is always the most important issue for them. But apart from that, we also found out from the survey that the Orang Asli's concern also involve education, housing, water, and work, job, basically. So when we went down to the Orang Asli village in Ulu Langat, I can give you one example. Like last year, I went down and I asked this one village. There's 4 kids going to primary school, and then this year when I go again, left only 1 kid. So education is very important. No, even though we bring down Suhakam to actually educate them, to create awareness on the importance of education, but they understand, they know that education is important, but still they can survive so far without education. So that's another aspect.
I have another question about the education part, because I personally feel that education is something important to young people, but at the same time, I also can't help to realize that education has been quite neglected within marginalized communities like the Orang Asli. Why they feel that? Why they don't go to school in the first place? Why they choose to drop out?
That one, maybe Jenita can start first because she experienced more on this.
Hello, Jenita.
Hey.
Sorry.
Yeah, because I've been. Okay.
Did you hear my question just now? I can repeat it again.
Yeah, can you repeat it?
Yeah, so now we are talking about education. We are talking about Orang Asli in young Orang Asli communities. They usually would drop out from school, or they would discontinue or disinterested to get education. I'm just wondering why this is happening. Is it the problem with the education itself, or is it that Orang Asli communities do not feel gel well with the concept of education that the government is providing to them?
Good question. Anyway, for me, I start with children, right? Young children. All the young children is very the same like the others, like the children in Kuala Lumpur or any else, no? Anywhere else. But then the thing is, you cannot bring in to the Orang Asli, especially where the Orang Asli live in rural area, all the mainstream methods. Okay, all the things that KLCC, Zoo Negara, what else? Menara Kuala Lumpur, those kind of things you cannot put into the curriculum of rural area.
Yeah, all these development mega projects, I would say.
Mega project. Yes.
So if
you want to let children proud about their country.
Yeah. I think
Orang Asli is you have to think about their environment. That is very important. You need to follow children's environment. If their environment is in rural area, so you have to integrate between the mainstream and their own environment, so that they can think, they can think and analyze it by themselves. How this process happens around them. So if you just put it in everything into once, then they didn't know anything. And another thing is communication. Communication issues is another big issue as well. Different race of the teachers, and without initiative of the teachers and the school, you will have a weak communication or interaction with the children. Yeah. So you didn't know their interests, you didn't know what they call their happy with, or any activity that you plan, is it appropriate not with the children. So that's the things. You need to go to the grassroots and discuss with them what is the appropriate things. Yeah, I know their mindset is different. You need to give a lot of awareness to the parent and everything, but you have to understand their environment as well, their culture, their lifestyle, their custom. So that is the very big matter that you need to look into.
I think another issue that I see is preschool education. Jenita is laughing. Okay.
What's the deal with preschool education?
Because basically what happened is they don't go to preschool education if no one provide sekolah community like what Jenita is doing. She's actually creating sekolah community for the orang asli in Pahang. So when our kids, let's say, go to school, they already gone through the tadika or preschool, right? So when they go to standard 1, they know ABC already. But the orang asli, okay, if you send them to school to standard 1, and then everybody else can read and write, and then
you have to start from zero, isn't it?
They have to start from zero, and you have to have teachers who are willing to actually make extra effort for that. And I can share you my experience. There was this one kid. This is told to me by the father of the orang asli. The teacher called him and tell him to take his kid out of the school because the kid was basically buang air.
What is it?
Defecate in class.
I see.
So actually you should understand them, and probably I guess the kid must be afraid to ask from the teacher to be excused. I think so. Yeah. So preschool education is very important, and it's really important.
Anything you want to add on, Jenita?
Yeah, but I'm more on the. Yeah, it's very hard to find. How to say? Like what the kampung that Mazni work with right now, there is no preschool at all. Even though it's very near to the what they call to the pekan.
Yeah,
it's actually outside, right?
It's not rural.
Don't have but still don't have preschool. I know preschool you have to get to setting up preschool if in the kampung got at least 12 to 15 children,
So if they don't go through preschool, what would they end up with, like later on in their lives?
Just like their fathers, going into the forest,
I think it's good if the generation, new generation continues using the forest, goes to the forest, cutting the petai, all the forest products. That's very good because it's a continuously of our lifestyle. But again, for the mainstream things, like you have to get an awareness to send your children to school, and how ours as a teachers have to understand their needs as well. You know, like what Mazni says just now, taking extra efforts to help them, to assist them. No, this is to gain their what they call self-confidence to us as an outsider.
Yeah, and talking about self-confidence, I think it's important that communities feel empowered that they can control their own livelihood. And education can be one of the key tools, because when you go through education, you have better communication skill, better knowledge about the world, and better knowledge about your own environment, your own community's plight, you know. Then you can fight for your own community's rights, isn't it?
Yes, correct. That is definitely very true. And another thing is like, because people outside keep saying that you need to change, isn't it? Okay? To the Orang Asli, you need to change all your, culture lah. Sometimes the crucial one, religion, you see? So they didn't respect what Orang Asli practice.
Which is
more,
what is the practice of Orang Asli's belief system?
They have their own practices, Like people outside keep saying that, Orang Asli practice something, the animism. Of course, animism, We don't have Bible to refer to, like the others, like Muslim, like Christians, like Buddha or Hindu. Because we pass it through oral,
So you are saying that,
I mean, right?
Yeah. So you say that there are a lot of missionary effort to convert these Orang Asli into any other particular religion. Is that the case?
There are cases like that. Yeah. Yeah.
I see.
But still, there is a lot also Orang Asli who still practice what they call ancestral practices, right? We have the what they call during fruit season. If you have better collections during the season, so you will do offerings to the ancestrals. That's it. There is no like magic things, like psychic things, to the public. Yeah. So that is very different than
the Bomo lah, you
the Bomo lah, Yeah, Bomo is another thing lah. Last time, those days, right? Why is Dukun, I'm easy to say, like Pawang, Most of these shamans, they are using a good method to cure sickness of the orang kampung, of the villages, right? Children, women, elders, youths. So they have no clinic. There is no doctors in the rural area. So this is the basic skill or knowledge that they have passing by the old generation to them, and they pass it to their new generation to what they call to cure all the sickness on their own family.
Interesting.
So this is not about the bad things, you see. This is all to cure their things, like sewang, to it's a part of it lah, last time.
Anything you want to add on just now, Mazni?
Yeah, I forgot already. But then Jenita.
Sorry, Mazni.
No, it's okay, Jen. It's okay. But her work is really interesting because, I see education as a tool for them to deter. I mean, land is very important to them, and education and land is actually interrelated because there are instances where the Bati was told to sign some papers and he didn't know what he was signing, and it ended up that he signed away his land actually, and not his land, basically is the community's land. Is the whole villages affected by this. So that's why education and land is actually interrelated. And I think when it comes to religion, just now we mentioned that actually they do have people going into the village. I come to know of this one what do you call it?
Philanthropist.
He basically, there's only like 7 people who has converted, but he built a double-story religious building, which I think, what's why? Double story, but there's only 7 people there. So, but some of them think that by converting to other religion, they get better mileage. I don't know. But one thing for sure is you cannot force them to practice things that they don't believe in, in anything, any decision that you want to make on their land also, you have to consult with them. Always consult with them.
Mm-hmm. So in your work, how much of your work have impacted the life of this orang asli?
Well, actually they have impacted in my life.
Really?
Yeah. Getting to know them, understanding them more, because prior to this I have no first-hand experience with the orang asli. So I just started this like a year ago. So I understand orang asli more now than before. And what I read in the paper, basically, that's why I think what the orang asli is. When you're going down, you understand them more. You know that's not the truth. On the other hand, when doing our work, I have now built trust with the community, because they have seen me often and they know that I do what I preach. So they come to trust me, and I can, last time, like if I want to fix an appointment with them or have a program with them, I will have to go down and tell them personally. But nowadays I can just call them and they are okay. So I guess the relationship,
takes time. Yeah, it takes time to build the trust.
It takes time, and I'm only there like for a year, and Jenita has been working with them for how long, Jenita?
7 or 8
Wow.
years, I think.
I think you work longer than 7-8 years, Jen.
There's a lot of others or asli who are working more than that lah.
Yeah. So Jenita, how much of your work have truly changed, at least, or perhaps empowered the lives of these orang asli communities?
I like to use sharing knowledge with the orang asli. I'm a part of orang asli, and I'm coming from the orang asli family. I changed my environment into a city girl, city women, city ladies, and started going back to my roots, whereby in the kampung, right? So I have two life between kampung and the bandar one. So yeah, how it affects the orang asli. But yeah, I can share you. There is one experience that I never or ever will forget that lah. There's how to say? I have been one family in Pahang. If you heard about Kuala Gandah sanctuary.
That is the elephant sanctuary, right?
Yeah. Besides that, there is a community orang asli called Cik Wong. Cik Wong orang asli Cik Wong lah. So I got to know them. There is one case whereby her child, during that time, 4 years old or 3 years old, already 2007 if I'm not mistaken, when the first time I'm joined the center that I'm working with now. So her child got cataract, eyes problem. 3 years old already got cataract, so cannot see. And another special thing about this boy is he cannot speak. And yeah, he cannot speak, but can hear lah. His eyes cannot see. It's a bit like it's a clear. I think it's clear lah. You know, like cataract, right?
I know the cataract.
Yeah. The old people's problems on their eyes. So they never come out from their kampung for how many years, So us and our friends taking initiative to bring them out to the hospital for checkup. This is a big, long process and very stressful for them, no? Because outside is not their world. So they're not used to the other races. They just used to their own zone, meaning only their own community. But once you bring them out, it's very rare and very it's very unfriendly for them, lah. It is from their eyes perspective, no. So they feel shy when they're outside. So sometimes they keep, how to say in Bahasa, they tarik my baju, Jenita, malunya kami, or something like that, no. But from years to years, I'm with them, sang them, accompany them, give them a lot of support. So now, I think end of last year, I think, she did call me because she often call me, They have cell phone, but they only communicate with us, contacting us if they have any important things to inform us, So last year she did call me, and she said, Jenita, saya sekarang ada di Kuala Lumpur. I said, how come you ada di Kuala Lumpur?
They went all the way there without you.
Yes, I'm a bit surprised, There is no tarik baju already because they are shy. But now they are a bit like, they have their own self-confidence when they're going out, So there is no, what they call, attack, how to say, discrimination happens because they are shy. Why they shy? Because people always chasing them, always chasing them. They not accept them, not respect them as they respect others, So that's the main things lah. So I'm a bit surprised when they call me. I'm in HKL now, sending my youngest daughter here at the hospital, facing the same disease what his brothers got last time,
Very interesting.
So she has six children. So first normal, second deaf and bisu dan peka, and then cannot speak lah. And then the third one.
Oh, what's that sound? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
My last question, because we are almost at the end of our show, is how can people like us, normal Malaysians, can put our effort to be more aware of the plights of orang asli, or maybe helping them and also providing them the access, to be empowered. How can people like us can do this?
Actually, like for me, you can come and join me and volunteer.
Where is that?
Yeah, you can volunteer and then work with them. Then only you will know more about them. You understand them better if you go down. Because like what you read in the paper or everywhere else, some may be true, some may be not, but it's best to experience it yourself. And just now when you asked me how my work has impacted them, I remember one of the deputy batin actually told me, like, like the kampung in the past, right? They are very individualistic now. Like they come together, they always have meetings to discuss things, like doing mapping in their village. So they come together and discuss. So it's like community effort now, and they work together to achieve common goal.
So they understand the meaning of public consultation, while our government still don't understand the way to do it. So, Jenita, if anyone from Kuala Lumpur, or let's say me, if we want to be part of the Orang Asli and, like understand their plights and also, just understand them better, if it's not trying to empower themselves and also educate ourselves, how can we do that?
I think to empower the orang asli, is it?
Or educate ourselves, if it's not.
Educate yourself. Okay. I think respecting is one thing, but be friend with them is more. No, be friend with the orang asli, because once you be friend with them, they will respect you more than what you expect. And sharing is very important. It's not sharing about what you have, It's about the knowledge that you had. We share with them. We learn together. Learning together is very important. I learn from you and you learn from me, So that is what I practice and I share with them, Because I'm very, I love my people. I love my own community, So once you love them, you have a self to what they can just now to a kind of protect them, But this is different now. Protect to another experience. Let's say you have bad experience. You was thieved by the what they call snack or whatever. Then you share with them that you must be careful when you go out from your kampung. That kind of information. It's very simple, but it's very important for them. Simple for us, but important for them.
So at the end of the day, it's just try to be close with them and just
be sincere
be
also,
sincere.
because they'll be able to see through you anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, for Mazni and Jenita, we already run out of time. Thank you. Thank you very much. It was a very interesting discussion about Orang Asli educating their rights, and we hope to hear more about your work, and let us know if you have any interesting development on the Orang Asli. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.